Good morning, second graders. I hope you had a nice extra day off and are ready for another week of learning. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. And on today's slide, I've included two calendar cards. I've included the calendar card for our new graph, and I've also included the calendar card for today. So this is what the new graph looks like. This was Saturday's card. And I want you to just look at it for a minute, and I want you to think about what you notice about it. Maybe what kind of graph it is. Maybe you notice something that's a little bit different than the other graphs. Start thinking about what the title could be for this graph. And then maybe what the three numbers are for this fact family. So I'm going to give you just a minute to think about that. All right, so the first thing that I notice is that our numbers down at the bottom, they go up by fives instead of by ones. So far, all of our graphs have gone up by ones, but this one goes up by five. So it goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I see that it also says number of students still, and that it has a bike and a skateboard. I also notice that it's a bar graph. I'm thinking that the title could maybe be favorite activity. Maybe it's favorite wheeled activity, right? Because bikes have wheels and skateboards have wheels. Could you think of something different for that? I also noticed that 10 people chose skateboard and 15 people chose bike. So over here, I've plugged in the first part, which was 15, but right now I'm going to go ahead and change the other part. So bike is our first part, 15, and how many people chose skateboard is our second part. So 10 people chose skateboard, so that's our second part, and 15 plus 10 equals our whole, which is 25. So we could plug our other part in right here to make today's card true. 15 plus 10 equals 25. All right, I'm going to walk you through the directions for today. So instead of having you pick up an assessment that looks like this and then recollect it, which I could do, it's just a little bit of a pain for online families to pick it up and then drop it off. And some people pick it up and some people forget to pick it up and then forget to drop it off. And so to make it easier, I have made an online assessment, and we've done this before. This is not new. You've done one for time and you've done one for money. But you are going to do our benchmark for two assessments. I've combined them. So this is for 2G3 and 2G5. And I'm going to use this score for both of those assessments because it's just a benchmark. I might send home the final one with you after we've talked about it. But for a benchmark, I think it's fine for you to do it just on the computer, and that will mean that I have it right away and you don't have to worry about picking it up and dropping it off. So you're going to go to this slide. The video that I'm doing right now will be in this big blank spot, and you will click on Benchmark Assessment 2G3/2G5, and it will bring you to this. All right, so it says first read the question, then answer the question. Do your best. So like I say before, when it's a benchmark, we've not done this before, so it might seem really hard, and that's okay. It's not supposed to be easy because we've not talked about it before. So if you don't know, just do your best, and even if you do know, still do your best. So I'm going to go through the questions. The first says, which shape is divided in half? So there's three pictures. This is the first picture, the second picture, and the third picture. And I want to know which one of these shapes is divided in half, and you'll click on that choice. So if you think A is divided in half, you can't, here, let's click that one is the one that I've been working on. So here we go. You'll click on that and it will bring you here. There we go. So you'll click on the one that you think is divided in half. So if you think A is divided in half, you'll click that. If you think B is divided in half, you'll click B. And if you think C is divided in half, you'll click C. And then you'll just leave it, whichever one you decide. All right, then there is a picture of a cube. And it says, if you drew a line to divide the cube into 2 equal parts, so you just have to pretend that you were having a pencil and dividing this shape in half, what new shape would you have? So if you drew a line to make this cube in half, would you have a sphere? Would you have a rectangular prism? Or would you have a cone? And again, you're going to choose one choice, whichever one you think. All right, then down here, it says, which shapes can you put together to make a trapezoid? So here's a trapezoid. And I want to know what you could put together to make this trapezoid. So you're going to be writing these numbers. So in your answer, if you think B, C, and D would go together to make this shape, you would write B, C, D. If you think A, B, C would go together to make a trapezoid, then you would write A, B, C. If you think C, D would go together to make this shape, you would write C, D. All right, so you're going to be writing these letters, whichever letters you think go to make this trapezoid. All right, then down here, I have a circle and it has some lines in it and there's red parts that are shaded. I want you to choose the one that describes how much of this shape is shaded. Is 1/3 of the shape shaded? Is 2/3 of the shape shaded? Or is 3/3 of the shape shaded? So again, you're going to choose, I'm going to make this, yep, so you're going to choose one of those options. All right, and then last question. It says, Mr. Parker bakes an apple pie. He wants to divide it into equal parts so that he and his 3 friends get the same size piece. Will Mr. Parker cut the pie into halves, thirds, or fourths? So there's your 3 choices. Will he divide it into halves, thirds, or fourths? And then you will submit it. Okay, so there's not too many questions. And like I said, this is for 2 scores. You're just going to do your best. A grown-up can help read the questions, but you need to answer the questions all by yourself. And then after you finish that, you can go to the choice board and you can spend 10 to 15 minutes making one of these choices. So Geoboard, Pattern Pieces, or Prodigy. Prodigy, if you aren't sure of what your login information is, then you need to tell me so that you can practice this way. All right. And then Geoboard and Pattern Pieces are both apps that you can find in the app portal, and they can just be on your home screen on your iPad. All right. Good luck. By the end of tomorrow, I need to have this completed by everyone.